Talk 1400 WSTC, 1350 WNLK presents Talking Business, Taking Action. The first step to improving your business begins right now.
And that's just what we're doing. We're talking business, taking action, and quite enthusiastically, as always, here on a Saturday. It is Mike Robb, along with the founder and president of Action Coach. It is Jim Mowski, and Natalie Havens, our producer from Action Coach, is on assignment this week, so it's Jim and I here alone. But we brought in the big guns. Last week we had a great talk with a special guest, right?
Yeah, we had Paul Lavoie last week, and he's been
kind enough to come back
and help us out. You think we can do this without Natalie, though? That's really the big question.
Well, let's not even think about that. Let's not think negatively. Let's just keep our fingers crossed. Paul, you're able to step up to the plate.
That's right.
If things go awry, right?
You got it.
All right, good. Paul Lavoie's here. Last week, Jim, we were talking with Paul about a number of different things, but I know one of the things you wanted to touch on was the aspect of closing the sale.
Yes, Paul has spent a lot of his career in sales and brings a lot of great sales coaching to our organization and to our clients. So I thought it'd be a great idea because we've gone through the 5 ways over the past couple of months with our listening audience, and as a result of that, they know that closing the sale means increasing conversion rate. And I thought that we'd spend some time with Paul talking about ways to close the sale, to get the check, if you will. You up for that, Paul?
I am.
All right.
Absolutely, Jim.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, so, when you're working with your clients, what are some of the things or some of the, let's go at it this way. What are some of the questions that you ask them to help you get an understanding of their effectiveness in the sales area? Maybe we go there.
Well, the first thing that I really want to take a look at is understanding their sales process.
Okay.
See, closing the sale starts when you're qualifying a prospect. It's not an activity that happens at the end of the sale. If you try to do it at the end of the sale, you're going to make it very, very difficult. So if you do it at the beginning of the sale, and most people miss that, they don't see that at all. So it really is defining a process that, and here's, when it comes to selling, one of the first things that I tell all of my clients is, if you want to be successful in sales, stop selling.
Mm-hmm.
And most people look at me like I'm, loony. They just think, I hired this guy for what? But here's what I mean by that, and I do this in workshops all the time, and I encourage the listeners. How many people actually like to be sold to? And the answer is none. I mean, if I do that in a group of 25 people, I'll get one person to raise their hand, and they're a salesperson, and they like to be sold to, so they can compare their selling technique to the salesperson's selling technique.
Right.
Not because they like to be sold to.
Mm-hmm.
So then I ask a corollary question, which is, who here likes to buy stuff? And guess what?
Everybody's hands go up.
Everybody's hand goes up. So there you go. There's the mindset change. See, if you truly want to be effective in sales, stop selling and make it easy for people to buy.
Yeah.
That is a very, very different selling mind shift, if you will. Because now, if you want to make it easy to buy, so with my clients, we sit down and construct a sales process that makes it easy to buy.
Mm.
And when you do that, you really start to understand, the kind of the psyche of selling and why people buy. And then you can professionally walk people through a process where at the end, you walk out with a contract and a check. You do want people to pay you for the service or product that you provide, and everybody feels good about it.
Yeah. How many people, when you first start coaching them, do you find have a consistent sales process?
None.
Rough percentage. None of them,
None.
right? They all do it differently every single time, right?
Right.
Yeah, they give you the things like, well, every prospect is different, so I have to do it different. How many times have you heard that?
How many client people have I talked to about selling? So, no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Why is that consistency so important?
Well, it's important because you need to become great at it. Right? You need to become an expert at your sales process. And the only way that you can become an expert at your sales process is to consistently execute against that process.
Right.
Right. I mean, repetition. Right? How do athletes, how does Michael Phelps break gold? Get as many gold medals as he gets? Consistency. He just, he continually does the same thing over and over and over again until he perfects it.
Right. And he's got a system.
Absolutely.
I mean, he knows he's got to swim 17 events. He doesn't have to win the preliminaries. He's got to win the gold.
Yep.
So you can see what he's doing. His system is pull back in the preliminaries. He's just got to be in the top 8.
Right.
The other day we were watching. My wife said to me, "What's he in lane 7 for?"
Yeah.
Well, because he didn't have to win. He didn't have to be in 4. Right. You don't have to win the preliminaries.
Right.
Same sort of thing that you're talking about, right? What's your system to win?
That's right. But do you have the discipline to consistently follow that system?
Right.
So when it comes to closing the sale, closing the sale shouldn't be an event. It's a natural end to a process that you've created of making it easy for your prospects to buy from you.
Brilliant.
Again, and think about it. I mean, think about sales situations that you've been in where you've bought something and you're like, how did I do that?
Right. You didn't even know. It was just so natural.
Right. You willingly
happened.
Signed the papers and gave your money because you were professionally managed through a process.
Right. And for professionals, it's great to be in that situation because you're thinking you can start to have fun with the sales guy at that point. Okay, how am I going to get him out? How am I going to get out of this just for fun?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
When you're in the middle of it. But your point is well taken. The process, you have to find the process that works for you. And if you're inconsistent, if you're not doing the same thing over and over again, you're not going to be able to find it.
Right. And by having that process, though, you then get out of things like discounting to close a sale.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You get out of trying these fancy closes, to get people to, if we agree, if we say this, then you'll do it. At the end, you said that if we agreed and we agreed, so how come you're not buying?
Right.
Well, again, if it's a natural process that people are walking through, then you take away a lot of those. Because, when people try to sell, what do the people that you're selling to immediately do? They put up their defenses.
Right.
Sure.
They put up their guards. Okay, you're going to sell to me. Well, we'll see who's going to get the better end of this deal.
That's right.
Right? We'll see how low I can get you on your price if you're desperate. And, so you eliminate things like discounting. You eliminate the giveaways. You eliminate the going back 47 times,
Right. And what are you focusing on? What are you emphasizing through that process?
Well, the focus is on them.
Mm-hmm.
It's never about you.
Right.
Effective salespeople know that they are the least important person in the process.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you've got to really identify, and by the way, it's honesty as well. I can tell you, I've had selling situations where I sit down and I just really want to dig and get all of the information that I can about their business to find out first if I have a solution for them. I don't assume that I can even help them until I have the opportunity to come in loaded with my questions.
Yeah, you got to identify, is there a need there? Is there a real need that's important to your prospect?
Right. The 6 most important tools that a salesperson brings into any selling situation, I call them the 6 servants that serve me well. And they are who, what, why, when, where, and how. Because if I bring those 6 servants to me in any sales situation, I can then figure out if I'm going to have an opportunity to help somebody and make it easy to buy.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Well, it's back to the questioning, right?
It's questioning and listening.
Yeah.
Questioning and listening.
Got to be able to ask good questions.
Ask great questions, listen for answers, probe a little bit deeper. And I've had, Jim and Mike, I've had situations where, I've sat with people and said, well, you know what, I don't think that I can help you.